Imagine waking up every day and diving into tasks without truly knowing why. Many of us are trapped in that cycle, busy, yet unfulfilled. Hard work in itself is not the measure of achievement. What matters is where we focus our energy. Work hard, yes, but first, know what deserves your focus. Ask yourself, what impact am I trying to create? What legacy am I building? When your actions are aligned with your deeper purpose, effort transforms into meaning. In our daily lives, distractions are endless. Notifications, meetings, tasks that feel urgent but are not important, they pull us in 1,000 directions. The key is not to work harder in all directions, but to work smarter on the things that truly matter. Prioritize, filter, and channel your energy intentionally. Consistency is your greatest ally. A single day of hard work will rarely change anything, but repeated, focused effort over time compounds into remarkable progress. It's the patient, deliberate actions that define mastery and success. Reflect. Take time to ask yourself if your work aligns with your values. Are you moving toward your goals or just moving? Reflection keeps your focus sharp, prevents burnout, and ensures that your hard work is meaningful. So, work hard but work intentionally. Focus on the meaningful, invest in what matters most, and let your effort be guided by purpose. In doing this, you don't just achieve success. You create a life that feels truly worthwhile. Purpose is the compass that guides our actions. Without it, effort becomes directionless, and hard work risks becoming exhaustion rather than achievement. Understanding why we do what we do shapes not only the quality of our actions, but also the fulfillment we derive from them. Imagine setting out on a journey without knowing the destination. You may walk tirelessly, but each step could lead you farther from where you want to be. The same principle applies to life and work. Action without purpose may produce activity, but not meaningful progress. Purpose is what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results, giving every task, every decision, and every challenge a clear reason for existence. Purpose acts as a filter for our energy. In a world overflowing with options, demands, and distractions, we are constantly pulled in multiple directions. Meetings, notifications, deadlines, and expectations often compete for our attention. Without a clear sense of purpose, it is easy to respond to every demand, believing that activity equals productivity. Purpose forces us to pause and ask, does this serve my ultimate goals? Does this move me closer to what truly matters? It empowers us to differentiate between what is urgent and what is essential, helping us focus our effort on what will create real impact. Purpose is not just a motivational slogan. It is the mechanism that aligns effort with outcome. When we understand our purpose, our hard work gains momentum. Motivation fluctuates, energy wanes, and challenges arise, but purpose provides a steady anchor. It is the reason we get up early, push through obstacles, and persist when immediate results are not visible. People who work hard without purpose often burn out quickly because they lack the why that sustains them through difficulty. Purpose-driven effort, however, transforms challenges into opportunities for growth, setbacks into lessons, and repetition into mastery. It infuses even mundane tasks with significance because each action contributes to a larger mission. Purpose also clarifies decision-making. Every choice, big or small, becomes easier when we have a clear understanding of what we are ultimately trying to achieve. When faced with multiple options, the guiding question is no longer which is easiest, or which will please others, but rather which aligns with my purpose. This clarity reduces wasted effort, minimizes regret, and allows us to concentrate on tasks that genuinely matter. It creates a natural hierarchy of priorities, where some things deserve our full attention and others are left aside without guilt. Purpose helps us invest our limited energy where it will yield the greatest return, both professionally and personally. Another critical dimension of purpose is its ability to inspire others. Work that is rooted in purpose is inherently contagious. People are drawn to individuals who know why they do what they do because purpose communicates clarity, confidence, and vision. Teams perform better when led by purpose, driven individuals because everyone understands the goal, sees the meaning behind the work, and can align their own actions accordingly. Purpose is not only personal, it has a ripple effect, creating environments where effort is meaningful and collective achievements are amplified. Finding purpose requires introspection and honesty. It demands that we examine our values, passions, and long-term goals. It requires asking hard questions about what we truly want to contribute and what kind of life we want to build. Purpose is not static. It evolves as we grow, learn, and encounter new experiences. However, even a provisional sense of purpose is enough to transform scattered effort into focused action. The key is to start with clarity about why we are doing something before we dive into how to do it. Purpose also brings resilience. In moments of doubt or difficulty, it serves as a North Star. When we encounter failure, fatigue, or criticism, understanding the why keeps us committed. It reminds us that temporary discomfort is the price of meaningful achievement, and that our work has significance beyond immediate results. Hard work anchored in purpose becomes sustainable because it is fueled not merely by obligation, but by a sense of meaning and contribution. Ultimately, purpose before action is the principle that differentiates busy people from productive ones, stress from fulfillment, and ordinary achievement from remarkable success. It is the internal engine that directs effort, prioritizes energy, and sustains motivation. Without it, work can be draining, fragmented, and fleeting. With it, effort becomes intentional, aligned, and deeply satisfying. Purpose is not an abstract concept. It is a practical, actionable guide that determines the quality and impact of every action we take. Prioritizing what truly matters is the art of distinguishing between tasks that are merely urgent and those that are genuinely important. In every day, we are bombarded with endless demands, emails, messages, meetings, responsibilities, and opportunities. Many of these seem pressing, pulling at our attention as if they require immediate action. Yet urgency does not equate to significance. It is easy to confuse activity with achievement, filling our days with busyness while making little progress toward our deeper goals. Prioritization is the ability to recognize what deserves our focus and what can be delayed, delegated, or even discarded. It is about investing energy where it yields the greatest impact, rather than scattering effort in 1,000 directions. Focusing on what truly matters begins with clarity of values and goals. Without knowing what we ultimately want to achieve, every task can feel equally important. The more clearly we define our personal and professional objectives, the easier it becomes to filter distractions. For example, if your goal is to grow a skill or build a career in a specific area, activities that do not contribute to that goal should take lower priority. Prioritization is not about doing less work. It is about choosing the right work, the work that moves the needle. It is the difference between being busy and being effective. Time is the most finite resource we have, yet it is often squandered on tasks that give little return on effort. To prioritize effectively, we must assess each activity based on its contribution to our larger objective. Not all tasks are equal. Some generate meaningful progress, others provide short-term gratification, and some offer little value at all. Learning to identify high-impact tasks requires both discipline and honesty. It involves asking hard questions. Does this task move me closer to my goals? Will this effort create lasting results, or am I simply reacting to external pressures? By consistently evaluating the importance of each action, we can allocate our energy toward what truly matters and avoid being trapped in endless cycles of low-value work. Prioritization also requires learning the art of saying no. Opportunities, requests, and distractions will always appear, and it is impossible to pursue them all. Saying yes to everything dilutes effort and leads to burnout. Saying no, when aligned with purpose, is not rejection but a conscious choice to protect time, focus, and energy for what is truly important. It is a form of self-respect, ensuring that we are not hijacked by the demands of others at the expense of our own meaningful goals. Each no strengthens the ability to invest fully in high-priority areas, creating space for excellence and deeper engagement. Another dimension of prioritization is distinguishing between short-term tasks and long-term impact. Often, urgent matters demand attention, but they may not contribute meaningfully to our ultimate goals. High-priority work tends to be the opposite. It is challenging, often delayed, and requires consistent effort over time. It may not provide immediate gratification, but its cumulative effect shapes outcomes, builds skills, and produces sustainable success. Prioritization is therefore not only about managing time, but also about managing attention and energy toward tasks that have enduring value. Clarity in prioritization also enhances decision-making and reduces stress. When we know what matters most, every choice becomes easier. Decisions are no longer guided by the pressure of the moment, but by alignment with meaningful objectives. This clarity reduces the anxiety of juggling competing demands and allows us to move with confidence, knowing that our focus is intentional. It turns overwhelming days into manageable ones and transforms scattered energy into concentrated effort. Prioritization is reinforced through planning and reflection. Effective individuals regularly assess their activities, identify high-value tasks, and adjust their focus accordingly. Daily, weekly, or even monthly reflections allow us to examine whether our actions align with what truly matters, helping us correct when distractions or less important tasks consume our attention. Over time, these habits compound, creating a life in which energy and effort are consistently invested in meaningful outcomes rather than fleeting demands. Prioritization is not merely a strategy for productivity, it is a mindset. It requires continuous evaluation, courage to resist the noise, and commitment to purposeful action. Those who master prioritization experience not only increased effectiveness, but also greater satisfaction. They work on what matters, achieve what is meaningful, and live intentionally. In a world of endless options and competing urgencies, prioritization is the skill that ensures our hard work is aligned with significance, maximizing both impact and fulfillment. Consistency is the engine of long-term success, far more powerful than occasional bursts of extreme effort. Many people equate working hard with pushing themselves to the limit in short sprints, believing that extraordinary results require extraordinary effort in isolated moments. While intensity can produce immediate output, it is rarely sustainable and often leads to burnout. Consistency, on the other hand, builds momentum over time. Daily, repeated actions compound to produce significant results, even if each individual effort feels small or incremental. The key is not to overwhelm oneself with monumental tasks, but to cultivate a habit of steady, purposeful effort toward meaningful goals. Consistency develops discipline, which is the foundation of mastery. By committing to regular practice or effort, we train ourselves to overcome resistance, distractions, and fatigue. Intensity without consistency is fleeting. One day of extreme effort can be impressive, but it is the cumulative effect of repeated, focused actions that creates progress that lasts. A small task performed daily often surpasses a large task done sporadically, because repetition embeds skills, habits, and knowledge deeply over time. This principle applies to every area of life, whether it is professional development, personal growth, fitness, or relationships. Habits are the practical manifestation of consistency. When effort becomes habitual, it no longer relies on motivation alone, which fluctuates naturally. Motivation can inspire action in the short term, but it is inconsistent and unreliable. Consistency creates structure, reduces reliance on fluctuating emotional states, and ensures steady forward movement even on days when enthusiasm is low. The compounding effect of consistent habits is profound. Small improvements accumulate, often unnoticed at first, until they eventually produce remarkable results that far exceed the impact of sporadic, intense effort. Consistency also provides clarity and measurable progress. By engaging regularly in focused work, we gain insight into what strategies and approaches are effective. Repetition allows us to refine techniques, identify patterns, and make adjustments over time. Sporadic intensity, while dramatic, rarely provides enough data or experience to truly understand what works. Through consistent effort, we not only improve skills, but also develop the patience and perspective necessary to navigate challenges effectively, learning from mistakes and adjusting with precision. Another advantage of consistency is resilience. Life is unpredictable and obstacles are inevitable. When success depends solely on occasional bursts of extreme effort, setbacks can derail progress entirely. Consistency, however, builds endurance and mental toughness. By committing to regular effort, we create a system that withstands interruptions, setbacks, and failures. Even when progress seems slow or results are delayed, the steady accumulation of effort keeps us moving forward, reinforcing the belief that small, disciplined actions eventually yield meaningful outcomes. Consistency fosters trust and reliability, both personally and professionally. People who demonstrate regular, predictable effort gain credibility because their commitment is evident over time. In professional settings, consistent performers are valued for their reliability and the dependability of their output. In personal relationships, consistency communicates care, attention, and integrity. Intense, sporadic effort may produce short-term results, but it rarely establishes long-term trust because others cannot rely on unpredictable bursts of energy or attention. It is also important to understand that consistency does not mean monotony or rigid repetition. Effective consistency combines steadiness with deliberate reflection and adaptation. Regular effort should be purposeful, aligned with meaningful goals, and open to improvement. By consistently reviewing outcomes, refining methods, and adjusting strategies, we ensure that our steady effort remains effective and relevant. This balance prevents stagnation and ensures that consistency becomes a tool for growth rather than a mechanical routine. Consistency over intensity encourages sustainable success. It aligns with the natural rhythm of life and human capacity. Extreme bursts may create short-term results, but they often carry physical, emotional, and mental costs. Steady, consistent effort, however, respects our limits while maximizing long-term potential. It allows us to sustain energy, maintain focus, and grow steadily toward our goals without sacrificing health, balance, or well-being. Over time, the cumulative effect of consistent actions creates outcomes that seem extraordinary in retrospect, yet are simply the result of persistent dedication. Ultimately, embracing consistency over intensity is a mindset shift. It values the long arc of effort over immediate gratification, small wins over dramatic achievements, and deliberate progress over sporadic surges. By cultivating consistency, we harness the power of compounding effort, build resilience, develop mastery, and achieve meaningful results that last. It is the steady, repeated actions more than short bursts of intense work that define excellence, create momentum, and transform ambition into achievement. Consistency is the engine that turns effort into achievement. Many people believe that success comes from bursts of intense work, dramatic effort, or sudden inspiration. But in reality, it is the small, repeated actions over time that produce the most lasting results. Intensity can give quick results, but it is rarely sustainable. When effort is extreme but sporadic, it risks burnout, fatigue, and loss of momentum. Consistency, however, ensures that progress compounds, and every day, no matter how small, contributes to a larger purpose. It is the patient investment of energy, the quiet accumulation of habits, and the commitment to steady improvement that defines excellence. Consistency creates trust with ourselves and others. When we follow through day after day, people begin to rely on us, opportunities start to appear, and credibility grows. This applies both personally and professionally. If you are consistently improving a skill, completing your responsibilities, or showing up for your commitments, others notice the pattern. Consistency becomes a signature trait that signals reliability, discipline, and dedication. Intense but sporadic effort, on the other hand, may impress momentarily but rarely builds long-term respect or trust because results are unpredictable. The cumulative effect of steady, deliberate action outweighs the occasional heroic effort. Habits are the building blocks of consistency. When we design routines that align with our goals, we reduce the reliance on motivation, which is often fleeting. Motivation may spark action temporarily, but it is inconsistent and unreliable. Consistent routines, however, transform effort into automatic progress. For example, dedicating 20 minutes each day to learning a new skill will eventually yield mastery, whereas a single 8-hour burst of learning once a month will not. The key is regularity, not intensity. Over time, consistent habits compound like interest in a bank account, producing exponential results that would be impossible to achieve through isolated episodes of effort. Consistency also builds resilience. Life inevitably presents obstacles, setbacks, and distractions. Those who rely solely on intensity are vulnerable because their performance depends on high levels of energy or motivation, which may not always be available. Consistency creates a structure and rhythm that persists even when external circumstances are challenging. It allows progress to continue despite fatigue, doubt, or temporary failure. Steady action ensures that setbacks do not derail long-term goals because the focus is on continuous improvement rather than immediate perfection. Another aspect of consistency is momentum. Each small, deliberate action contributes to forward movement, making subsequent actions easier and more effective. Momentum is a powerful force in achieving goals because it reduces the friction of starting and increases efficiency over time. Intense effort may create a temporary burst of energy, but without regular follow-through, momentum dissipates quickly. By committing to consistency, we allow progress to build naturally, creating a compounding effect where every day's effort builds upon the last. Consistency does not mean monotony or a lack of ambition. Rather, it means disciplined focus and perseverance. It is possible to combine consistent effort with innovation and growth. But the key is that new strategies, ideas, or techniques are applied in a reliable, ongoing manner. Sporadic brilliance may seem exciting, but without consistency, it rarely produces substantial, long-lasting results. Consistent effort is measurable, trackable, and reliable, allowing us to see the direct correlation between action and outcome. Reflection and adjustment enhance consistency. Regularly reviewing progress ensures that effort remains aligned with goals and that routines are effective. Consistency is not blind repetition. It is deliberate, purposeful repetition with room for learning and improvement. Small corrections along the way prevent wasted effort and allow continuous alignment with what truly matters. This creates a cycle of disciplined action, reflection, and adjustment that drives mastery over time. Consistency cultivates patience and perspective. The results of steady effort are rarely immediate, but over weeks, months, and years, they accumulate into meaningful achievements. Recognizing the power of long-term commitment shifts focus from instant gratification to sustainable growth. By prioritizing consistency over intensity, we embrace a mindset that values perseverance, dedication, and incremental progress. It is the quiet, daily actions repeated over time that distinguish those who succeed from those who only aspire. Consistency is not glamorous, but it is the backbone of every significant accomplishment, turning effort into expertise, challenges into growth, and goals into reality. Reflection is the process of pausing, examining, and understanding the impact of our actions. Without it, we risk moving through life on autopilot, repeating patterns that may not serve us and missing opportunities for growth. Reflection acts as a compass, guiding decisions, refining strategies, and ensuring that our effort is aligned with our deeper purpose. It allows us to evaluate whether we are investing our time, energy, and attention in ways that truly matter, or if we are merely responding to external pressures and distractions. By regularly engaging in reflection, we create a feedback loop that turns experience into insight and insight into better action. Reflection sharpens awareness. Many people operate under the assumption that effort alone guarantees results, but without examining outcomes, effort can be misdirected. Reflection forces us to pause and ask critical questions. Am I making progress? Are my actions aligned with my goals? What is working and what is not? This heightened awareness prevents wasted energy and ensures that our hard work produces meaningful results. Awareness gained through reflection is not about self-criticism. It is about understanding patterns, behaviors, and decisions so that we can make more informed choices moving forward. Reflection also strengthens decision-making. When we take time to analyze past experiences, we gain clarity about what strategies and approaches yield the best outcomes. This knowledge helps us prioritize actions, allocate resources effectively, and avoid repeating mistakes. Decision-making without reflection is reactive, often influenced by immediate pressures rather than long-term objectives. Reflection enables proactive choices because it connects our actions with our values, purpose, and long-term goals. It is a process that transforms learning into applied wisdom, giving direction to effort and focus. Consistency in reflection enhances its impact. Reflection is not a one-time exercise, it must be ongoing to be effective. Daily, weekly, or monthly check-ins allow us to assess whether our actions continue to align with our priorities. Regular reflection prevents small deviations from growing into habits that lead us astray. It keeps us accountable to ourselves, ensuring that our energy is invested in high-value activities rather than low-impact distractions. Over time, consistent reflection develops a heightened sense of self-awareness, enabling us to recognize opportunities and risks that others might overlook. Reflection also fosters adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and goals, priorities, and circumstances evolve over time. By examining the outcomes of our actions and the shifting context around us, reflection allows us to pivot when necessary. It helps us distinguish between temporary setbacks and signals that a new approach is required. Rather than being rigid in pursuit of a plan that may no longer be effective, reflection equips us with the insight to adjust strategies, adopt new methods, and continue progressing toward meaningful objectives. Adaptability gained through reflection ensures that effort remains productive even in changing circumstances. Emotional intelligence is another benefit of reflection. By reviewing our experiences, we become more attuned to our reactions, motivations, and behaviors. Reflection allows us to identify emotional triggers, understand our responses, and regulate behavior in ways that enhance productivity and relationships. It strengthens empathy, helping us recognize the impact of our actions on others and fostering collaboration and trust. Reflection is not only about assessing outcomes, it is about understanding ourselves and others, creating a foundation for more thoughtful and intentional action. Reflection reinforces learning from both success and failure. Success without analysis can lead to complacency, while failure without reflection can result in repeated mistakes. By consciously examining what led to a positive outcome or what caused a setback, we convert experiences into practical lessons. These lessons inform future actions, improving efficiency, strategy, and effectiveness. Reflection turns ordinary experiences into opportunities for growth, transforming both achievements and challenges into stepping stones toward mastery. Reflection aligns effort with purpose. When we pause to evaluate whether our actions support our goals and values, we ensure that hard work is not wasted on trivial or misaligned tasks. It creates a mental map of priorities, highlighting where to invest energy and where to withdraw attention. Reflection transforms busyness into focus, action into progress, and effort into impact. By regularly examining our choices, outcomes, and intentions, reflection serves as a compass that consistently points toward meaningful achievement and personal growth, ensuring that our work is both intentional and effective.